Hello, Flosstube friends. I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the stitcher with a laughing face, and this is Flosstube number 21. Happy Eclipse Day. Thanks so much for coming to join me and see what I've been up to for the past couple of weeks. I so appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed and comments on my videos. I really, truly appreciate everyone's kind words and encouragement and enthusiasm for what I've been up to. So thank you so much. If you are new here, welcome. So glad that you are able to spend some time with me and see what I'm doing. And if you would subscribe and make a comment, that would be awesome because that'll help me in the algorithms a lot. But I do so love being part of this community and seeing the comments and seeing what everybody else is up to, and that's been really fun. If you're still interested in doing a Zoom so that we could sit and stitch together, send me an email. Use my email address that's in the show notes and let me know. I was thinking about April 12th. That's this coming Friday. I don't know if that's enough time for people, but it's also the end of the marking period, so I'm probably going to be knee deep in grading the last minute papers that got turned in. So we'll think about another date, but let me know. Shoot me an email. Let me know if it's something you'd be interested in doing, so that I can get the email out to you with the link in it. So that would be fun to actually get to see faces and put some faces with names. That would be great. So spring break, almost over. I go back tomorrow. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. There's only 11 weeks left. I can do it. And actually I have some information that I'm hoping will help kind of make those last couple weeks go well. I don't know if you have other teacher friends out there, but for some reason it seems like just across the board in teaching in general, this year has seemed kind of overwhelming for a lot of people. And I know this, for us, we're short-staffed, so we have to pick up, other things that need to be done just to make sure that everything that needs to be done is getting done. So it's been kind of an overwhelming year, and always feeling I can't get ahead. And of course, did I bring home 2 bags of grading for break? Did I open them? 1. I did some. But I think trying not to bring stuff home has been really important. And just it's gotta be done at school. But one of the things I was thinking about in the past couple of weeks is the fact that since I am 50, and certain things happen to women of a certain age, that maybe there was some hormonal stuff or maybe some perimenopausal stuff going on. So I went to see my OBGYN, and she did do some blood work. We talked about some things, and while my hormones seem to be not going into perimenopause, I was like, that's weird. But apparently my vitamin D and my iron are incredibly low. So, and those affect a lot of things. A lot. Fatigue, depression, heart palpitations that I had last year, which is also a perimenopausal thing, but it's also an anemia thing. So I'm hoping that getting my vitamin levels back up to where they're supposed to be will help me just feel better in general. And I do think, even though the hormones didn't say it, I've been following a new doctor. I think her name is Mary Claire, and she does a lot of stuff about perimenopause and menopause in particular. And there's this really great article that she was talking about that was trying to quantify when women say they don't feel like themselves. And that is exactly the way that I phrased it to my OBGYN. So feeling overwhelmed, feeling teary, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, that is totally me. So hoping having that knowledge and getting those levels back where they're supposed to be, I'm hoping will get me through those last 11 weeks. And that everything will be just fine. So fingers crossed for that. All right. So what else did we do over spring break? I had my FFO marathon, and it's funny because when I say FFO, my husband's like, language, because he said it sounds like something naughty, like I'm swearing or something. And I'm like, language, like Captain America. I got my hair cut, took 4 inches off. It looks a little shorter than that because now the curl is like boing. But it won't take 7 hours to dry anymore. So I don't know, just nice to have it a little lighter. We did do some disc golfing. We had a couple nice days where we were able to get out and start getting back into the groove of things for that. Holy Week, we had a beautiful Seder dinner at my church. I'm Presbyterian, so we call it Maundy Thursday. Most other people call it Holy Thursday, the day of the Last Supper. And Jesus was celebrating Passover with his disciples. So we had a Seder dinner, which is very similar to the kind of meal that he would have been having, with traditional foods and the questions and that kind of thing. And of course, then because it is a Christian one, it relates, to Jesus as the lamb and that kind of thing. So it was a beautiful, beautiful evening, a lot of great fellowship, and that was wonderful. And then Easter Sunday was just beautiful. It was a very nice day out. We had beautiful music, handbells, brass, choir sounded great. Sam came to church with me, which was nice, and then he came home for dinner, and it was just he and Phil and myself, so we had just a quiet dinner, but that was really nice. I sent Max a giant box of candy in Philadelphia because he wasn't able to come home, and Brooke and Vince got their Easter baskets when they came back after their week with their mom. We did go to Wisconsin. All right, sorry, I got the itchy nose thing. What is it? There's a thing, right? Everybody gets an itchy nose when they're on Flosstube. Don't know why. We went to Wisconsin for a couple days. We drove out on Tuesday, spent the day Wednesday there, drove back on Thursday. So we did a lot of car stitching, which you'll see in a little bit. Phil wanted to put a railing in for his mom so that she can get to their backyard. There wasn't a railing there, and she needs something good and sturdy because her mobility is a little bit more limited. She's using a walker and a cane, and he wanted her to have something good and sturdy so she could go sit in the backyard and enjoy being out in nature, which she's loved her whole life. So we had a really nice visit. Matthew was able to come down, Phil's oldest, and he helped, which was wonderful. And we played a game. So it was a good visit, even though it was really, really short. The driving there wasn't very fun. We had some terrible weather there, and on the way back, lots of rain, snow. But two cool things about that trip. So first of all, watching Priscilla and Chelsea, as I do, they've mentioned Menards many times, and we actually went into one. Coolest store ever. This was the one in Waukesha, and it's 2 stories. So they have like a giant conveyor belt to take up your cart on, and then it's not 2 whole floors. It's very open to the second floor. So they have little bridges that go from one area to the other on to get around on the second floor. And we were kind of amazed, like, okay, it's a Home Depot-ish kind of place. So we're, Brooke and Vince and I are standing in there, Phil's trying to find, the hardware he needed and the lumber and stuff. And I turned around and I was like, there's cereal over there and books and soap shaped like flowers. So we thought it was amazing. And even Brooke and Vince were like, this is the coolest store I've ever been in. So we got to go to Menards. That was really fun. And I play the license plate game whenever we go to Wisconsin because it keeps me looking up. So, because if I just looked down the whole time I was stitching, I would get very car sick. So, and we used to play it with the boys when they were much younger. And I was driving. It was a way for me to keep alert and awake and watching. So, I know now that there's a license plate app. I will perhaps try one the next time we drive, but I sang 50 Nifty United States in 5th grade. And I still remember all of the states in alphabetical order because of that song. So on the back of my pattern for April month to month, I wrote all the states down and crossed them off as we go. And I had 42 of the 50 states. But the exciting thing, because I'm a dork, is that I got Alaska and Hawaii. Now, I've gotten them each before once. I've gotten Alaska maybe once or twice, but I've gotten Hawaii once before, but never in the same trip. So I know it's silly, but I was very excited. So, got home from Wisconsin. Brooke and I had a painting night. We have a place here called Painting with a Twist, where you can go and, they have the different projects. And she chose, we do one every year, and she chose one that looks like an eclipse, although it really looks like the Eye of Sauron. If you know Lord of the Rings, it just needs the pupil right down the middle of the moon, and it would totally be the Eye of Sauron. But it was fun. It's always fun to go do that with her. I had my girls' night out with Bunko, who are my best girlfriends. We've been doing Bunko for almost 20 years now, and we've been through everything under the sun together. We have one of the daughters is getting married in June. One of the other daughters had a baby in November. We had one of the sons had a baby boy around the same time. So we've been through all sorts of things together, and it's always just wonderful to sit with them and catch up and talk about everything going on. We went to Accepted Student Day at the college that Brooke has chosen, and so that was fun. And then today's the eclipse. Now, it's already come and gone, so unfortunately, and we're here in Buffalo, New York, so we were in the path of totality, and I cannot tell you, there's like thousands of people in Niagara Falls right now. The price of hotel rooms was skyrocketing. There was all these weird things, like a hotel chain, like one hotel canceled everybody's reservations and then jacked the price. Ridiculous things going on. But unfortunately, it was very, very cloudy. So I don't really have any great pictures to show. And of course, after the eclipse was over, and it had already become light again, then the cloud coverage cleared up a little bit that you could have seen it. And we did look at the sun with our glasses on. We had our glasses. And it's kind of cool because it makes it look red. So we did see the moon passing away over the sun, but it was for those 3 minutes, and it was, they said, oh, it'll maybe start getting dark around 2:40. We were at 3:18 was totality. Right around 3:15, it got dark very quickly, and it was like and I could see why in ancient times it would have scared the pants off of, I was trying to think of a nice way to say it, would have scared the pants off of people because it was fast. It was totally dark. The sky off to the side looked like sunset or sunrise because it had already gone orange off on the horizon. We could just see a glimmer of it through the clouds. I did get a couple pictures, but they're not great. And poor Max in Philly was texting me, send me pictures. I'm like, sorry, it's really cloudy. Because they were not in the path at all. So, I mean, a very cool thing. I wish it hadn't been as cloudy as it was, but the how dark it got very quickly, and then the 3 minutes of totality, and then it got light again very quickly. So very, very cool thing to see. And that was pretty much it. That was my break. Now back to school. Deep breaths. I will say, I really enjoyed just being home and spending the day with my husband, binge watching Star Trek Enterprise and FBI and reading. I read 7 books. And I actually have 1 or 2. I don't know that I'll actually get to them tonight, but I went shopping at Barnes & Noble yesterday, which is, always a couple $100 worth of books. And it's all like the new book in this series and the new book in that series. And I try to read stuff before the kids just because I want to be able to tell them, the new book in the series was great. So I did read 7 books. I watched a whole bunch of Hallmark. I watched the Garage Sale Mysteries. Those were kind of cool and a little predictable because I was like, it's the sun. Like, the sun did it. And then and like I said, we watched FBI and Star Trek Enterprise. But just being able to hang out and read and stitch and work on stuff around the house was really nice. So those 11 weeks can't go fast enough. So I have the summer to just do that again. Oh, and we also booked our hotel rooms. We are taking the whole family to Yellowstone in July. So that is very exciting. Sam was actually born in Montana. So it'll be kind of like going home for him. But we're very excited that all of the kids and Max's girlfriend is even coming with us. So we're going to have a great time. Alrighty. So that is all of my what did I do over break. So thanks for sticking with me through that. And now to the FFO marathon. So I did show you briefly last time all the things that I thought I was going to be, that I wanted to work on and get done. Just everything is finished in some way. Like, there's a couple Halloween things that aren't totally finished because I kind of petered out at the end there. It was like, I don't want to cut any more round circles. It's hurting my hand. But also because I figured at Halloween, I might be able to find, things that I can't find right now to use for trim or, if I wanted to mount the circles differently. And there's 1 or 2 things like I need to pick up a ribbon I want for something. But for the most part, everything is done, and I'm very excited to show everything to you. So I'm going to start with the wintry stuff and kind of work my way through the year, because I have absolutely no idea what order. I started with pillows. I know that because I got the sewing machine primed and ready and then went on to flat folds from there. But we'll start with winter and work our way to Halloween. All right, so my first FFO is Winter Wishes and Snowman Kisses. This is Primrose. This was actually one of the only 24 and 24 things that I actually finished. I was so gung-ho at the beginning of the year, got my list, got my bags. Not really finished very much. I started some of the things, but I haven't really finished. But this one is done. And this was a house that I found at Dollar Tree. I actually picked up a few of them. I think I gave one away last year when I first started. So I did the washer magnet on it, and it's perfect for this set from Primrose. This is on tea-dyed linen with all the called for. I'm pretty sure it's all the called for. I don't think I changed any of the colors. And you can't see it, but I put a magnet up on the chimney. So when we get closer to winter, I'm going to find a button or, who knows, even a snowflake magnet or something to put on there. But I thought it was really cute with the pom-pom trim. I had this in my stash, and I really did try to use a lot of stash. I did have to make one little trip to Joann's, but for the most part, everything came out of my stash. So that was Winter Wishes and Snowman Kisses. So that's, and I think I have actually 20 things. So proud of myself. So then I had some pillows. So this is a Durene Jones freebie, and it said Christmas love. And it said at Christmas time on the original, but I put wintry stuff up in January, so I just left that off. So this is on that iridescent, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the iridescent Ada, which I absolutely love. They have it in blue too. So I need a new roll of all of them because I really like how things, it's not overpowering, it just powering, sorry. But it just adds enough sparkle to kind of, catch the light. And I thought that was awesome. So I did it with that from my stash. And then I originally tried sewing it with the rickrack inside. And I didn't do it the right way. So it came out all wonky. So I actually ripped it apart and I actually just hot glued it on the outside because I didn't have any thread that was this teal color. The teal rickrack, and you'll see there's like rickrack and ruffles fix everything. It's just what you need. Pom-poms. But I had this in my stash. It was from Joann's, and it was the perfect teal to kind of just bring out a little bit in there. So that's going to go in a basket. I have this very cute little snowman basket. This is another Durene Jones freebie. And this is done on ice blue. It's 32 count, so it's tiny. So the other one, this is on 14. So it didn't really need, sorry, there. This is on 14, so I didn't really feel like they're almost, this one's actually a little bit bigger now, but I didn't want the size to be too different. So this didn't need to have fabric with it on the front. And I don't know that I would have had anything that was perfect to go with it. I like the rickrack. This was so tiny, I was like, it has to have a border on it. So this fabric was also in my stash, and I thought it was perfect. It's not sparkly, but there's like a little sheen to it. And it kind of reminds me of what frost looks like on the window, the way the patterns are. So I thought that really framed it nicely. And then I made a ruffle. This ribbon was in my stash, and holy cow, is it glittery. Like there's glitter everywhere from this stuff. But I think it's adorable. So I'm very happy that I'm going to be able to put those out next January. All right, then I did some work. And actually, I stitched all of those things this year. There's a few things that I stitched last year that you'll be seeing. So, let me see. I think I need some white. Sorry. So this is one of my St. Patrick's Day stitches from this year. This is Lucky Curls from Needle Treasure Nook. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the store. She's on Etsy, and I'll have to send her a picture because she wanted to see it. So I did this on Carolina linen, which is my go-to for anything kind of primitive. And it's Little Sprout, Classic Colorworks. So you can see a little bit of variegation in it. And then this is actually one of the things I had to pick up at Joann's. This is a 5-inch wooden hoop that I picked up because I only had 4 inches here. And I took it with me. So the paint, and I can't remember the name of the paint, but the paint was perfect. So I just painted the outside of the hoop and then made a ruffle. because ruffles fix everything. And this was a kind of Celtic knot fabric that I had in my stash for St. Patrick's Day. So just made a little ruffle with that. Oh, you can see through it, sorry. And then I will put a piece of green paper, or maybe I'm going to have St. Patrick's Day paper to put in the back, and then I'll just put a little ribbon up here at the top. But I love how that one turned out. Very simple and kind of subtle. Like that one didn't need something super bright with it. The other one did. So Lucky the Leprechaun had quite a little adventure. So at first I was thinking, let me see. Sorry, I've got everything around my feet because that's where everything was convenient. So at first I thought I was going to use this frame for Lucky. Picked this up at Hobby Lobby. Pretty sure. Yeah, or Michael's, one of the two. And I wanted, I knew it was too big to go in here, but I was going to just like set it in so that it still had the frame around it. And I had an idea how to do that. So you take the glass out, put the washer on the cardboard, on the backing, and pop it in there. And then you can put the magnet on the piece and you'd still be able to have it on top of the frame without actually adhering it to the frame. So if there was something seasonal that I wanted to put inside that fit in the actual opening, I wouldn't have marred the frame in any way. So I got them ready on a piece of sticky board and to, stick on the outside, and it just didn't do anything. It wasn't dark enough to like bring out the little leprechaun. So then I was thinking, oh, well, I have this brown frame. So this I liked. This is actually where Matilda was, Matilda Mouse Goes to School from Finally a Farmgirl. And I liked this one because it has the little hardware in the corner. So it kind of has very farmhousey. And I think it's cool for that. And I thought, oh, well, Matilda was only going to be out in September for back to school. So I thought, oh, I can switch out Lucky Leprechaun for this one. So I put him in here. Didn't do anything. And then I looked through. I have a basket, and I'm sure you guys all do too. Like you buy something on clearance, you buy something at the dollar, something like this would be perfect finishing piece. And I had in there a black frame, kind of a scallop edge with a white border right around the opening. And I was like, all right, I'll try that for Lucky. It didn't work for Lucky, but it worked for Matilda. Look how much cuter she is. I just think it makes it pop so much. It is just, and this was on clearance for $5 at Michael's. So that makes it even better. So now Matilda is going to stay in this frame and she's going to go to school with me. I have a couple shelves behind my, I teach off of a podium and I have a stool, and I have a couple shelves behind me where most of the stuff on display is coffee related because that's my classroom theme. But Matilda's going to go live with me there because she is just too cute in this frame. So Matilda got an upgrade and I love it. So then I still had what I was going to do with Lucky. So here he is. He's still got hot glue. Now I decided I would just put him on a backing board with some fabric. And then, if something comes along next year at St. Patrick's Day, if there's a leprechaun I could mount him on or something, I can still do that. So this fabric, here, I'll show you the back, even though, yeah, it's ugly, but this fabric, it's hard to see behind it with just a little bit, but this was in my stash and I liked how it just had the tone on tone flower motif to it. And then, so when I put him on and I said, oh, he just needs a little bit more. And of course I had this awesome lime green rickrack and I thought he turned out really good. So he could wind up, like I said, maybe I'll find some, like a giant top, leprechaun hat hang like in a Dollar Tree or something like that. Or the other thing I might do is I saw somebody do this. They took beads and made a hanger out of like the wooden beads. So that might be an option for him too. So there's Lucky, and Matilda got an upgrade. Love her. Hopefully she'll like her new home. All right, then Easter. So these next pieces are all things that I stitched last year. So I did Emily Call. This was my first thing I got from Emily Call last year. The Hello Bunny set. Here, let me get them so I can hold them up. So here's the bunny. And then there was the Hello Bunny. So they came together in one pattern. And I thought they were super cute. And then last year when I was doing my FFO marathon, I did everything but pillows, and then I petered out. So I was like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. So again, looked in my stash. Check out that perfect fabric. This was a fat bundle, fat quarter bundle that I bought. I think it might have been Hobby Lobby, where it has this pattern in a rainbow of colors. So there was pink, orange, green, blue, and purple. And I might have used some of the other ones in other finishing already, because it really is that perfect blender, as Lindsay calls it, that's not going to overpower your stitching, but just enhances it. And look how perfectly those oranges go with the carrot. I just loved it. So then I did them on kind of, oh, sorry. There we go. I did them opposite. So you can do either way. So after I made them, I sewed the pillow, and I do the thingy on the side. I have never done the thing on the back. And maybe I will someday. I don't know. But I thought, you know, it needed a little trim. And at first I was going to I have some white and orange baker's twine. But then I was like, you know, this is really kind of dainty, and lace would be nice there. And lo and behold, I had a spool of lace in my stash. So those turned out really cute. And there you go. So Hello Bunny from Emily Call on tea-dyed linen, of course. I really am hoping to branch out on my fabric choices this year and get some other things besides. Just, I have to order them, but, you know, stuff that's more than just what's at Joanna, Michaels, and Hobby Lobby. So my Hobby Lobby really doesn't have very much anymore. I'm kind of disappointed. It's like, do they not understand that Flosstube is out there and they need more stuff? I don't know. All right, so this one I'm pretty sure is a Lizzie Kate. I think I stitched this like 4 years ago. During COVID, the spring break of my COVID lockdown. So we had been in lockdown for a couple of weeks. We had our 2 weeks off. Everybody regrouped, recharged, and then we kind of like slid into home base at the end of the year. But this one, I just never quite figured out what I wanted to do with it. So decided it needed to have, you know, the extra fabric, because it is a pretty small little stitch. And I've also learned I need to be a little bit more careful about giving more fabric on this side and less over here, so that it is a little bit more centered in the pillow. But this was also part of a fat quarter bundle that had a whole bunch. It was all tone on tone. They actually had them in a couple different colors. They had like red, and they had black, and they had purple. But this was all from a fat quarter packet. And again, a little bit of rickrack, just to give that little oomph, you know. And I don't know, if I find some cute button or maybe a little something right there, a little button with a bunny on it or something might be cute. All right, so that's Easter. And then this one is Bloom Where You're Planted from Stitching with the Housewives. And I love this one. This was a phrase my mom used to say all the time. And sometimes it actually drove me a little nuts when she would say it. But when Priscilla and Chelsea did this last year, I was like, I have to do that one. And I do have the pattern for Life in Full Bloom. This is from the unfinished wood at Hobby Lobby. And I do have another one, so I could do it exactly the same way. Actually, I have to touch up the beads on the top quite a bit, actually. I have to fix those. Now, it actually comes with twine, but once I had finished the bottom part, I was like, I don't really like the twine. So I had this in my stash, had that blue ribbon, so I just switched it out. But yeah, I do need to fix that. Use a little bit of the bow there. This fabric, I don't know if you, oh, yeah, you can see it. That was actually one of the things I did go to the store to pick up. Another tone-on-tone flower fabric there, and trimmed it with a little bit of lace as well. Little daisy button right there. Then that actually came from a pack of buttons that was strawberries, but it had a couple daisies in it. So I like how that turned out. And I'm happy because I'll be able to leave this up for quite, you know, all of April, into May, maybe even into June. Because it really is very springy. And I do want to get the other one done to go with it. All right. Next is another piece that I've been wanting to get finished for a while, because I just loved the piece so much. And this one also has kind of a funny story. So this is Stitcher's Garden, and I did it last year. I know this was a market release from Tiny Modernist, and I did the color and cotton colorway with Holly Jones and I think Emily Moore. They were the ones who put it together, and then Primrose put out the pack, and I loved it. I did it on raw Belfast linen, which I just ordered some because I love this fabric, and like everything pops on it. It's just perfect for so many different things. And I loved color and cotton thread. Just fell in love with it because it love the variegation, and it's really nice to work with. So I wanted to, sorry, my nose is still so itchy. I wanted to frame it in something red because that is going to be the accent color in my stitching room when everything is all set and done in there. Right now it's really just like workable, but it's not in the final stage. Hopefully this summer. Hopefully we have to fix the shower, and they share a wall. So we have to go through the wall of that room to fix the shower. So hopefully that'll happen, and then we can paint it. It's going to be pink. And bring up all my furniture and have everything all in one room. I can't wait. And I'm going to do red as my accent color, which I got from watching Java Stitch Girl, because her wall behind her and her she shed has so many great things with red accents in it. So couldn't find a red frame. I looked at Christmas. I've looked, could not find a red frame that was like the right color to really go with that. So I decided to go the unfinished wood route. So my first piece that I picked out was just square. It had like a bead in it. And I painted it with a red that I had, and it wasn't dark enough. So I went to the store, bought a darker red. But for some reason, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. So when I went to paint it again, I was like, I'll paint over it. I painted it with the same darn color from the first time. So I had some black out because I was painting something else. I was like, I'll just mix some black in. It'll be fine. It looked like a vampire threw up on it. It was just not the right color at all. The black was very streaky. So that is going to just be black. I'm just going to give up on that. I'm just going to paint the whole thing black and use it for something Halloween or what else. So then I went to looking for a new piece. So I found this one at Michael's. And this is Santa Red. And I think it's really good. Now, it's not totally finished yet because when my husband saw it, he said you should really clear coat it. You got to do something to protect all that red. There's glitter on it from that snow pillow. But want to do something. So I actually posted online on Stitching with the Housewives and said, hey, do you guys like do a clear coat? What do you use to protect your paint? And I had a few people who responded. So I am going to pick up like one of the clear spray paints and cover it. They had a bunch of people who said like there was a matte one that won't make it sticky and won't make it shiny, and that's what I'm going to look for. So, and the other thing I want to get, I'm not going to do a ruffle, shocking, but I do want to get a ribbon, and I know that I've seen one that looks like a measuring tape, and do a bow at the top. So that I can't wait to hang up in my new crafty room. So that's Stitcher's Garden from Tiny Modernist. All right. So, sorry, I'm running out of room. So that leads us to Patriotic. Now, after I did Stitcher's Garden, I wanted to use all of that awesome color and cotton floss. I didn't want to just sit in a drawer in a baggie and never be used again because it was too stinking cute. So I had a couple ideas what to use, and then, you know, nothing was quite perfect. Nothing was quite right. And then Emily Moore from Primrose, I think she said she was using some that she had left for some patriotic stuff. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's perfect. So last year I stitched Primrose's Star Spangled Street, and I used my own colorway, using up like the reds. This is the pickle. I used the white. I think some of the browns might be some other things I had in my stash, but I used the color and cotton, and it's also on that raw Belfast linen. I mean, look how nice like the white pops on it. It's awesome. So this board is also from the wood pile, as they call it, the unfinished wood. And I think this might actually be what Priscilla and Chelsea said to get for the word swap, which I want to do the daisies because I love daisies. It's It's one of my things. Daisies, bees, strawberries. I got a coffee, got a few things. But anyway, I originally picked it up to do Honey of a Tiny Town, and it wasn't long enough. Honey of a Tiny Town is a little bit longer, but it worked for in here. Now, first I was thinking I do the washer magnet thing, and then I was like, you know what? That actually does, when you do the washer magnet, it actually does create more depth, and I really didn't want the stitching to be too far, sticking out of the frame too far. So I was like, this was $6.99. You get it 40% off. It's going to be, what, $4? So I was like, I can get another one. It's okay. And also, it's not like, you know, like for the month to month or something where you know you're, or the Let's Go Ride a Bike or the weigh-in, where you know you're going to do multiples from that series. You don't want to have multiple backings. That's kind of crazy. But for this, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do that's going to fit exactly in this frame. So it's going to be this. So this red and white check, which I thought looked like it's, you know, tablecloth, very cute. I put that on sticky board because it's thinner and glued it right onto here. And then this is on foam core. So it does pop off a little bit, but I didn't want it to be too far, like the profile to be too far. And then I just put a couple buttons that I had in a bag from Walmart. So this one, I might do the same thing with beads to hang it. Or it could just sit on a table. I don't know. We'll see when patriotic time rolls around. But this was one of my favorites, actually. And I just kind of sat it on the table for a few days while I was working on other things. Love how that turned out. My other two patriotic finishes from last year, so those were both stitched last year. I did kind of get on a patriotic kick. There were a couple sals people were doing, and one of them was Nicole Spohr. Sorry, I'm picking threads off. She did a sal for Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I think I'd actually just purchased this, and then Nicole announced the sal. So this is Red, White, and Bloom, which I had always loved because I just loved the colors. Just kind of like the little white, the way that she did it in the flowers there. And I just, once I got it finished last year, I never got around to FFOing it. So, super cute back. Love this fabric. I don't know if I can find more of it because I just think it's adorable. It's patriotic, like it was out with the patriotic stuff, but it's not, you know, flags everywhere. I just love the colors with it. And then this ticking was in that quarter bundle that I had. I was looking through Pinterest and I saw some ideas about like how to finish the pillows, and I just loved this. The look with having the ruffle. And I do want this to fray. Like right now it's kind of a pain because there's threads everywhere. But I think the more that it sits in the bowl and the more it frays, I think it'll look even cooler. So Red, White, and Bloom from Cherry Hill. And I do have Land of the Free is halfway done from her. So I hope to have that done this year and put those out together. And then another one, and I know I did this one for Colorado Stitchers summer camp or whatever it was, because it had the bird. So this is a Pinker and Punkin. This is Freedom Saltbox. It actually, in her pattern, it has the word freedom underneath it, but I didn't stitch it because I wanted it to kind of be around the same size as the other ones. But I love that with the big roses and the eagle up there. So I did it with the same backing because I thought, you know what, having the same fabric on the back would kind of be like a sign to me, like these were stitched in the same year together. And so maybe I'll do whatever I stitch this year will be, you know, slightly different, but they'll also kind of coordinate in the bowl. So love how those turned out. Alrighty. And then we get to Halloween. Can you believe it? All right, so this one is Autumn Quaker from Primrose, and this one turned out really good, although I will say I should probably, I don't know if I'm actually going to undo it. It's got stuffing all over it still. This is two different kinds of batting in it, and I like the newer batting much, much better. It's much fluffier, although it's harder to keep it in the corners. I don't know why. It doesn't stay in the corner when you stuff it in there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's impractically perfect, as Annabella would say. So, and Annie, the proper Annie, the proper stitcher would say it's better to have it done than be perfect. So it's not perfect, but I do like it. So I did this on the Carolina. That's my go-to. And I used terracotta because there was no more pumpkin pie like anywhere. But I like the variegation. This is that color and cotton again. And the fabric that I chose is one of my favorites. I think they have this in a lot of colors. Like I have it in red and green with the gold. I have it in white with the gold. But it's a perfect blending fabric because you can add to the pattern without distracting from it. So love how that one turned out. And that one really just needed a little bit more stuffing and to finish sewing the side because the rest of it was done. Now this one is another one that I stitched a long time ago, and it's just been kind of hanging out waiting to be done. Oh, that's upside down. Sorry about that. So here, I don't even know, it was a Pinterest thing that I found, and I think I did it on fiddler's cloth. Yeah, that's like 18 count fiddler's cloth. So another favorite blending fabric over here. Got a little kind of crinkle fabric on the back. And the trim was from that giant pack of Halloween trims that I picked up at Halloween time. A little brighter than the rest of it, but I think it's okay because it's got the gold in it. It kind of goes with the gold here. So that's a cute little bowl filler. Then I worked on the rounds. Now I did all 4 roundabouts from Priscilla and Chelsea at Halloween this year. And I did them on a piece of purple fabric that I had hand dyed, and then realized, of course, after I'd stitched all 4 of them, that I did not leave enough room in between them to do my usual hoop framing. I like the hoop thing because it's quick, it's easy. You can put a ruffle on it, you can put a ribbon on it. I just like it. It's cute. So I had to do it on sticky board. So I don't have the circle punch. I know that Priscilla and Chelsea had a circle punch for a long time. Now they just get it from Fat Quarter Shop. But I did not have those things. So I have, oh, and of course it's sitting behind my camera. So not going to reach into your face to get them. But I have the Creative Memories circles with the blades that you have on the different things. So hold on. I am going to grab them. Okay. So if you have ever done scrapbooking, you probably know of these are the Creative Memory circles. There's 3 of them. The other one's still over there. And then you have the 3 sets of blades. So there's the red, the green, and the blue. And then you would, and I was a Creative Memories consultant for 8 years, I think it was at least. Saved my life when we moved to Buffalo because it was how I met people. But their stuff is the best, even though I don't really use it anymore. So you would fit the little groovy things into the groove. And then you had perfect circles. And you could, you know, this one's the medium one. The red one was the closest. So it's right at here. And then the blue one was the furthest one away. So you could make mats, cut your picture, cut your mats. It would all be perfect. And you could do it on the inside. You could do it on the outside. And the circles all line up. So you could, you know, do a circle with this size and then do your mat really big. They're awesome. And that's what I decided I was going to use to cut these circles for the mat board. Now, normally I use foam core most of the time, but I used the sticky board because I knew that I would not be able to cut through mat board with that size. It's just too thick. So, so I cut them on sticky board. And so some of them did come out a little wonky in their centering because it's what I had to work with the way that I accidentally, you know, didn't do them far enough apart. So this one worked out pretty good. And I do love this purple. I forget what, hyacinth, maybe, I think it is. The Rit dye. That one's not too bad as far as being centered. And so I also used the DMC Etoile, which is kind of thicker than regular floss, and it's sparkly. And then there's a little bit of glow in the dark in a couple spots too. This one is the one that's super wonky because I just did not have enough room. So it's really not centered at all. But again, it's finished. It's not perfect, but it's finished. And it's going to look cute all together. So when I did them, I think I used, I used the smallest circle, I think on the green. And then I used the next circle to make the backing. So when I first did them, I didn't find anything at home here that was the right backing, because all my Halloween fabric, while incredibly cute and had Halloween motifs, it competed with the stitching because it was not enough room. And also these are going to go, most likely, that was my plan. This is the single, but they have a set where it's 4 of them in a row with a bead in between each one. But this part is smaller. So you can't do, like, this one has a bigger, I used a bigger circle on this one. This one you can't. There's just not enough room for that. So I couldn't make this part bigger to show off any sort of motif in the Halloween fabric. So I wanted something subtle, yet still Halloween-y. So when I went to Joann's, they did happen to have black sparkly fabric. So I have this big thing, black sparkly fabric, because, you know, sparkles, love them. And I did just one. That one's also a little off on the way that it's centered. Because then that's when I kind of petered out. Like, I don't want to cut any more of the circles because it kind of hurts my hands. I did have to use scissors a little bit to kind of get it. I could cut through one layer with the blades, but then to flip it over and cut through the other side, I did have to cut a little bit with scissors. So I do intend for these to go, oh, that needs to be glued down a little bit more. I was thinking about having them on the 4. I was going to paint the black circle, the wooden circles black, and do the beads orange. But I didn't have the right orange with me at the time. And I was like, you know, who knows? Maybe there's going to be some cute thing at Halloween that I might see where I might want, you know, mounted on a witch's cauldron or something like that. So they're done enough for now that I will be able to really finish them off at Halloween time. So, but I think I was happy that they came out that way and that I didn't have to restitch anything, because I was worried about that when I realized I was too close. It's like way too close. Oh, there's one that I forgot. It's in my stitchy room. Maybe I'll grab it in a second. No, because it's not really done. All right, so this one is Wicked Without Coffee from Primrose. And this was the first thing I did on with the Etoile. And it's on Vintage Country Mocha because I had a little piece. I had just bought a fat quarter, I think, of Vintage Country Mocha. Now I know why everybody loves it. I want like a yard of it and like a bolt of it. But I just got it for something else for Primrose, and so I used it on this. And then this I did like a really wide, because this fabric has all the copies on it, and it's so cute. Now I don't have it glued down yet because I don't know what trim I want on it. I did make an orange ruffle, which could work. It definitely has to be something orange, because black will just kind of blend into the background, but I want something orange to kind of set it off. But again, when Halloween rolls around, I could find something like an orange pom-pom or something that will work. But there's Wicked Without Coffee. And then the last thing that I don't have with me is the Haunted House from Primrose. And I started to sew that into a pillow, and it was crooked. So I need to fix that. But it's partially finished. It will be by Halloween this year. Whew. So that was, you know, with partial finishes and everything, that's like 20 things that are now going to be ready for me to put out. That makes me very happy that I get to enjoy those things. All right, give me 1 second because I'm going to kind of shuffle a little bit so that I can show you what I stitched on during my spring break. And I do have a little bit of haul, and then my plans, which I think I showed you last time anyway, but so 1 second. All right, back. Turned on my oven so I can throw dinner in. Of course, now the sun is out. Couldn't have been out, you know, at 3:18, but now it's out. All right, so over the break, I did do a fair amount of stitching. I mean, I really did do the FFOing took a lot of my days, but that's, you know, you always think like there's more time in the day than there is, and you know, the fact that I was able to get all of that stuff finished so I can enjoy it and it's not sitting in a basket, that makes me happy. Because you know, it's a lot when you pull everything out and you've got hot glue everywhere and you know, cutting all the pieces of foam core, all that kind of stuff. Like it takes some time. So trying to do it on weekends is really hard for me. So having this big block of time to do it was awesome. All right, so I did work on a couple different things. So first of all, my March 24 and 24 was Hive Rules from Primrose. And I did get not quite half, but I got a fair amount done. Now remember also in March I did distract myself because I got the St. Patrick's Day pieces, and I did finish the 2 that you saw. I worked on a 3rd, and then I was like, no, I need to get on to Hive Rules. So here is where I am so far on Hive Rules. It's a little bit more than what you saw last time, I think. I do really like the colors. I like how it's coming together. And I hope to get back to it this month if I'm able to finish some of my other April projects, which it's possible, who knows, or get back to it this summer or something like that. But I do like that. Oh, and I actually got a great finishing piece for it. So when I was looking in Joann's, I found was it Joann's? It was Joann's. They had a unfinished wood. Now the sun's coming in and it's making me, it's behind my head, sorry. In their unfinished wood, they had a long piece that had kind of a scallop at the top and the bottom, and it's just the right width. I think it'll be kind of cool, and I think I'm just going to have my husband clear coat it so it brings out the natural beauty of the wood. I'm not going to paint it. I doubt I'll even have room to like border this with anything. It might just be a ribbon at the top or something, but I think that's really cool for that. So that was my March 24 and 24 big piece. Did not get to the small piece. I was going to do Make Pretty Things from Cherry Hill Stitchery, but we'll put that aside for another day. I did start a piece for Holy Week, and I got that idea from Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher. I was watching one of her videos, and I thought that was a really great idea, that instead of just starting something on Easter, to work on it the whole week leading up to it. And I did work on it a little bit during the week, worked on it on Easter, and then I did finish it afterwards. But so this is from Kira Lynn Needle Arts, and she's one of my new favorite people. I love her stuff. She's got all these adorable little ins. Like there's a strawberry one. There's a Halloween one that's stinking adorable. Super, super cute. So I'm definitely going to go back to her website. But this was her new one for this year. And it's kind of funny because the fabric came out like wonky. I don't know why the fabric is so crooked. The stitching's not, but the fabric is. And it's, I know I squared it up to start in the middle and it didn't, but I have plenty I can frame it. But here it is. I did do the greens, a shade darker. She called for like 30-47. I went with the 33, 47-ish or 42 or whatever. Just a little bit darker. And I did actually stitch the Heat is Risen on Easter Sunday. So that was kind of cool. There's some beads down here. Put a couple holes in my hand. Trying to, oh my gosh, those beading needles. So thin. And trying to thread those suckers. Whew, that's not fun. But the result is awesome. I love it. I'm going to look for a square gold frame that has kind of like an ornate molding to the frame. And I think that'll be perfect for that. So that was a start and a finish over spring break. Woo-hoo. Then on the 29th, Chris the Camping Stitcher was the one who got me started on wanting to do a leap year sal and stitching on the 29th. So I didn't actually get any done on February 29th because it was that's our anniversary of our first date. But I did do a little bit of work. Oh, so here's it was supposed to be my January 24 and 24, and that did not happen because there was a bunch of other stuff I did in January. So that's Erin Elizabeth's farmhouse. And I am going to do some things in red. I was thinking about it while I was working on it. I'm going to do the N and the T in red down here, and like the little quilt and the barn. So I'm going to add a little bit of red to it. So I did not get a ton done on the 29th, and it's not iron. Sorry about that. This is also that awesome Belfast linen that I want to bolt. I have a piece coming, but I want more. I actually had to, I did a little bit, starting to do some house building, but I also went through and colored because the pattern is in black and white, and I am really not a fan of black and white patterns. I like to have things in colored. So I just took I got a box of colored pencils specifically for that purpose. And so some of the time that day that I set aside for stitching, I was actually coloring. But I think that will be lovely when it's all done. I think it'll be kind of fun to play with where to add the red. Couple spots, not throughout the whole thing. I'm not going to put any, I don't think, in the house, but like the little quilts, maybe on the rooster, that kind of thing. So, all right, then the other thing that I worked on, I started it in the car on the way to Wisconsin. Worked on it on the way back from Wisconsin, and then I've been working on it since is the April month to month. So car stitching for me, I like to do it now. I've discovered a great way to do it is Ada, because you can see the holes. So pretty much had the April done on the car ride down, and then I had to frog it because holy cow, those little swirly things, there's a lot of mistakes in there. There's some mistakes over here, but you know what? Nobody's gonna know but me and maybe Priscilla and Chelsea if they stare at it long enough, but really. But at one point I was like, forget it, I'm done. I don't care that it's off by one. My husband said that should have been the name of my channel, off by one. But I'm doing it on the cracked pine board from Picture This Plus? No. Fabric Flare, sorry. It's printed on the side, that's very helpful. And I love it for the month to months because the barns kind of has that barn wood kind of look to it as well. So this is with all the called fors, except I switched to the green. And they use Classic Colorworks. I went with 4-leaf clover because I thought it was just a tiny bit brighter than I think they had called for Little Sprout. So yeah, so I'm working away on that. And that's what I've been working basically the whole second week of break. This is what I've been doing. And hope to finish this one so I can get on to the other stuff that I wanted to do for April. So my other April plans. Sorry, knocking stuff over. Here it is. My April plan is my big month to 24 and 24 is Honeybee Garden, and I'm doing it on denim that I dyed. I'm gonna do I don't have it with me. I don't know where the pattern is, but the Primrose, they did Summer with Kisses and Bumblebee Wishes or whatever. I'm switching it to Sunshine because I do leave bees up longer than just summer. And that one's very small, so that shouldn't take me very long. And then if I have time, I'm going to go back to the Hive Rules because I want to get that done. All right, so a little bit of haul. I bought some of the floss for this, and some floss for spring. Welcome Home Spring, because I love it. And then I've got that natural Belfast linen on its way. And then I did pick up a couple patterns. So I did get Home is Where Your Heart Is from Priscilla and Chelsea, and the We Are Family. I liked those two. I thought the whole series was really cute, but those are the two I decided to do. We have French doors between our front porch and our living room, and I thought to do the two of those. I'm probably going to do them in a 5-inch hoop, put a ruffle on them, and then I can hang them together on the doors. I think that'll look nice. And then Cherry Hill Stitchery came out with a strawberry set to die for, so I bought all 3 of them, which is why I got the Belfast. So this was the first one, the berries in the round, and I just love the red, the black, and the white. So cute. And then she finished it in a square, which I thought was kind of cool too. And then the next one was Strawberry Friends. So I had to get that one. And then this one, I was like, oh my gosh. So stinking cute. Sorry, you don't want to see the fabric. And that was a strawberry tea party. So, yeah, had to get all of those. All right, so that is it for me. Hope you saw some ideas. Maybe that'll help inspire you for some finishing. Or maybe, you know, some strawberry stuff, because who can't get enough? I can't get enough strawberry stuff ever. But I hope you had a good Easter. Maybe if you were on spring break this week, or maybe yours is still coming up, but you've had a couple nice weeks. Maybe you got to see the eclipse better than I did. I hope so, because, and like I said, now it's sunny. What are you going to do? I do feel a little bad for all the people who traveled here and spent all that money coming to see the eclipse and didn't see it. It's too bad. But I hope you have a good couple of weeks. I hope to see you again in 2 weeks, show you my progress on the April month to month and the honeybee and the other things I'm working on. I do hope to do some sewing on that quilt for my brother and my sister-in-law. I've got some other quilty things I want to do. Make it through to the 4th quarter and get settled into that. So thank you again so much for coming to spend some time with me and see what I'm up to. I so appreciate your feedback and your encouragement. It really means a lot to me. So thanks again. Happy stitching. See you in 2 weeks.